Welcome to episode 2 of TPT Chats, our journey and your next step. I'm Annette from Count on Coop, and I create math resources and upload them to TPT. And I also help math teachers around the world create their own resources for their classrooms.
And I'm Malia, and I help teachers start and grow their profitable TPT stores so they can help teachers around the world and make money doing it.
So today we're going to be talking about choosing the right tool. So there's a lot of people doing different things on TPT and creating resources with different programs. So we're going to be talking a little bit about PowerPoint, Google, and Canva today. So what are your initial thoughts, Miss Malia?
So when I was creating resources, they were all digital. So I was using Google Slides and I was using Google Sheets to make like pixel art. That's everything basically in my store is digital, is pixel art and like movable pieces on Google Slides. But when I was creating like the covers and the thumbnails and all that in Google, it just didn't look as good when I downloaded and uploaded to TPT. So I was using PowerPoint to make all the covers and thumbnails and previews for my Google activities. When I started creating more printable things, it was so much easier to make resources using PowerPoint. I know you and I are both math teachers, and I was making a lot of graphs, and PowerPoint was just easier to make graphs and math things there. So I switched quickly over to PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm. I'm very similar. I started with Google Slides and I did that because it was free. I did a lot of research and I was like, oh, I know I'm supposed to have, PowerPoint for business if I'm creating resources for
Mm-hmm.
TPT specifically. So I was like, oh, let me not do that. Let me just use Google Slides because it's free. And I tried to so Google Slides, when you download it and you create a PDF, the quality of the actual like pictures and the words is not as good as if you downloaded it from PowerPoint. So I tried to get around that by like doubling the size of the page. I have
Oh.
no idea if it helped. It was not a good idea. I don't recommend it, but that was what I did when I first started. But people had like printing issues because of it, and it was a whole thing. So anyway, I switched very quickly from Google Slides to PowerPoint, and similar reasons. The equation editor and creating math graphics are way, way, way better in PowerPoint. And honestly, moving the pieces around and even flattening it and everything, it for me was way easier in PowerPoint than it was for Google Slides.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know so you brought up protecting and flattening and everything like that. I mean, we both
Mm.
use Flatpak by Bearwood Labs for PowerPoint, and it's just so much easier. It's literally like one click to say if you want it to be flattened or not, and then it just makes your flattened PDF, flattened and secured PDF, and a PowerPoint file for you. So another great pro for PowerPoint. I you brought up math, but I love the math editor because you don't have to use the PowerPoint math font, right? You can actually like highlight the equation, whatever you use, an exponent, whatever, fraction, and you can actually change it to be whatever font you want. So it could be PowerPoint, Microsoft fonts, or it could be any font that you also downloaded. So I like that part of PowerPoint too.
Whoa, another pro for PowerPoint. So Google Slides, you can only use the fonts that are in Google Slides. And for
True.
PowerPoint, you can purchase fonts that you like or that are unique, and you can download them and put them into your PowerPoint. So that's another pro for PowerPoint over Google. Now, when we say Google Slides, we do mean the Google Suite because
Yeah.
we do have Google Sheets that we do use, and there is like a purpose for Google Slides. So what I end up doing when I create a resource that could be digital is I actually create it in PowerPoint and then I will upload the PowerPoint file that's like secured and flattened and all of that. I'll upload that to my Google Drive and then I'll have a Google Slides version. So there is a time and place for Google for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I know like during the pandemic when digital resources were huge, Google tools were like it. There wasn't a lot of Microsoft schools yet, and I feel like there was a transition from using all Google Suite to some schools using Microsoft. So they really go hand in hand, but I don't know. I think both you and I, we love PowerPoint, and PowerPoint is our go-to for all printable resources as well as like everything about the listing, covers, thumbnails, previews, things like that.
Now, totally true. 100%. I'm team PowerPoint for sure. But then we had, as we, went along our journey, Canva got introduced into our sphere. So when we started, that was not even an option. So we
Yeah.
definitely got used to PowerPoint, Google Slides, and working with those. But then Canva got introduced. So talk to me a little bit about, what do you use Canva for? Do you use it for resource creation? Talk to me about that.
So, like you said, when we both started, I know I started sooner than you, but Canva was still not a thing really in 2020, especially for product creation. But when it did came out, I looked into it and it was really cool. It was very enticing because it has the same ease of creating that PowerPoint does. I think PowerPoint does. You can upload your own fonts, you can upload your own clip art, like that was great. But they also have templates and a ton of different graphics, including actual images, like stock images, templates to make different resources. So that was great. It was a little tricky for me to understand how to use it because I'm so well versed in PowerPoint at that time. But then it became the question about commercial use with all the different pieces inside. And I got really nervous because I don't know, every new seller or veteran seller doesn't want to get hit with that copyright infringement, whatever, the cease and desist letter. So I got really nervous about using it. Their terms of use at that time was pretty muddy. And depending on who you asked, even if you asked different help desk person at Canva, you would get like a different answer. Now it's a little bit more clear and they have a page that's well written of what you can and cannot do. It just makes me nervous. So I stick with Canva for creating promotional materials. So like social posts, blog post images, email graphics, things like that.
Yeah, same. I try to use Canva to create a resource, and for me, it just wasn't as innate as PowerPoint is because I know all the shortcuts of PowerPoint
Mhm.
and things like that, and Canva's shortcuts are a little bit different for some things. So, I do use Canva though because the templates are phenomenal when you're talking about social media and promotional materials. I definitely use Canva for that, but for product creation, I am definitely team PowerPoint.
Yeah, I think if I were to use Canva as product creation, I would only do it for things that are I'm using in my classroom, not to sell. So I
Mhm.
don't know. For both, sounds like for both of us, we use Canva and all of its templates and the greatness that is Canva for promotion materials only, not resource creation. So I love Canva just for a different use.
Exactly. I feel like they all have their time and place, and I use them all just for different purposes. So, this has been episode 2 of our TPT chats, our journey and your next step, and where we talked about the difference between PowerPoint, Google Slides, or Google Suite, and Canva.
So we'd love to hear about which ones you use, why you use them. Feel free to send us an email or send us a DM on our socials with the links below.